faculty of satisfaction associated with the mental consciousness. In the third dhyana there is the pleasure associated with the mental consciousness. In all the threefold world, with the exception of the third dhyana, this faculty of pleasure associated with the mental consciousness is absent. The first five consciousnesses are unable to conceive things. They do not know their names or their symbols or their marks. At the moment it is produced, the visual consciousness is like a first indication. But it is the mental consciousness arising later that knows the thing. This is why the faculty of pleasure associated with the first five consciousnesses is unable to perfect happiness. It is the faculty of pleasure associated with the mental consciousness that perfects bliss. Consequently, if, in the third dhyana, the qualities are few in number, bliss abounds. It is not Vimoksha, Abhivayatana or Krts Nayatana which surpasses this third dhyana, for they themselves lack this bliss. This is why the sutra compares the bliss of these beings to that experienced by a bhikshu in the third dhyana. The sutra says, they approve of wisdom, keeping the precepts, mastery of the self and non-violence toward others. Question. Having spoken of the bliss which they experience, why does the sutra say that they approve of wisdom? Answer. Those who have not found bliss can still acquire qualities. But when they have found it, attachment to bliss dominates and they no longer acquire qualities. This is why, immediately after this bliss, they set their minds to the approval of wisdom. Those who approve wisdom keep the precepts, master themselves and do no harm to others. Question. Keeping the precepts is mastering oneself, and not harming others. Why add this useless comment? Answer. Purity of body and sppech constitutes keeping the precepts. Setting one's mind on the wholesome is mastering oneself, and also, not harming others. All these qualities are included in the section on morality, the section on concentration and the section on wisdom. Keeping the precepts constitutes the silaskanda. Mastering oneself constitutes the samadhiskanda. Not harming others, loving kindness in the course of dhyana and other qualities constitutes the prajnaskanda. Question. Nobody boasts about hating the precepts. Why does the sutra say that the beings whom it praises here approve the observing of the precepts? Answer. There are some Brahmins attached to worldly things who say, leaving home, observing the precepts, those are the deeds of a casteless person. Dedicating one's life to acquiring wealth and accumulating qualities, that is what is good. How can a mendicant who begs for his food and makes no personal effort acquire qualities? This is how they criticize those who keep the precepts. There are also people attached to political institutions who criticize the partisans of self-mastery. They say, people should govern the world by law. Rewarding good and punishing evil is an inviolable principle. There is great profit in never forgetting to pay respect to one's parents, establishing laws and helping one's neighbor. Why should one be limited to improving oneself, mastering oneself, without doing anything about putting the disordered world into order, or helping those in need? This is how they criticize the partisans of self-mastery. Finally, there are people who criticize the partisans of non-violence towards beings by saying, they do not punish the wicked, they do not arrest thieves or chastise rogues. They show no severity towards the guilty. They are unable to repel an offense or put aside difficulties. What is the use of preserving profitless silence? This is how they criticize the partisans of non-violence toward beings. They also say, why does a man without energy come into the world? He does not avoid his own difficulties. He is like a wooden statue fixed in the ground. With evil words like these, they criticize non-violence toward beings. But the gods and men with whom the sutra is concerned all approve of wisdom, observation of the precepts, mastery of oneself and non-violence toward beings. Practicing these good dharmas, they enjoy peace of body and mind and the fearlessnesses. They are without worry and without anger. They have a good reputation. They are beloved by people. They are going towards entry into nirvana. When their life reaches its end and they think about their merits, they feel neither sorrow nor remorse. If they do not attain nirvana, they are reborn in the Buddha universes or in the heavens. This is why the sutras say that they approve wisdom, keeping the precepts, self-mastery and non-violence toward beings. Act Vi. Sutra. Then the Bhagavat, seated on the lion seat, mastered the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu by his brilliance, his color, his beauty and his splendor, and extended his domination as far as universes of the 10 directions as numerous as the sands of the Ganges. In the same way that Sumeru, king of the mountains, surpasses all the mountains by its brilliance, its color, its beauty and its splendor. Sastra. Question. By means of what power does he thus dominate all beings with his brilliance, beauty and splendor? The cakravrtin kings, the devas and the aryas also have power, brilliance and beauty. Why speak only of the Buddha's superiority here? Answer. Although these aryas have brilliance and beauty, theirs are limited like the stars that are dimmed and disappear at sunrise. For numberless k. 121 see asamkhyeyakalpas, the Buddha has accumulated great qualities and all the accumulations. And because his merits are great, his retribution also is great. This is not the case for other men. Moreover, from age to age the Buddha has practiced the austerities beyond measure or limit. Unceasingly he has sacrificed his head, his eyes, his marrow and a fortiori, his kingdom, his wealth, his wife and his children. Having, from age to age, cultivated all types of morality, patience, energy, dhyana, and acquired incomparable, pure, unchangeable and inexhaustible wisdom, his accumulations were complete. By the power of retribution, he has obtained as result an incalculable powerful superiority. This is why we have said that when the merits are large, the reward also is large. Question. If the miraculous power of the Buddha is immense, if his beauty and grandeur are ineffable, why would he have to undergo the retribution of the 9 sins? 1. The Brahmacharini Suantoli Sundari slandered the Buddha, and 500 arhats wiped out the slander. 2. The Brahmani Chancho attached to her belly a wooden bowl pretending she was pregnant, and slandered the Buddha. 3. Tipo Ta pushed down a rock to crush the Buddha and wounded him on his big toe. 4. While walking in the woods, the Buddha hurt his foot. 5. When King Leo Li Virudaka and his army massacred the Sakyas, the Buddha had a headache. 6. Having accepted the invitation of the Brahman Akitatu, the Buddha had to eat horse feed. 7. As a result of a cold wind, the Buddha had a backache. 8. For 6 months, he practiced austerities. 9. Having gone to a Brahmin village to beg for food, he received